Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about specifically how today's world has flipped upside down, and you will be punished for reading books. And Disney is the one that's going to punish you. All right, so let's talk about the Artemis Fowl trailer. All right, so I watched the Disney Artemis Fowl trailer, and I was very excited. So I have read the Disney Artemis Fowl books. They're by an Irish author by the name of Ewan Colfer. And I've read 5. I read the first 5 Artemis Fowl books. The reason why I didn't go further than that was it was pretty clear to me that Ewan Colfer did not want to write more than 3 of these books. I think he liked the idea. He was having fun with the world. And this is one of those situations where an author just gets like stuck with their own creation, right? Like, I think he really loved this creation, but like this thing hit and a lot of these other projects didn't hit. And I think he wanted to move on to other projects and write other things. But the Artemis Fowl books were so hot. And his publishers were like, just, hey, you got any more Artemis Fowl books? And he's like, I got this full moon detective agency book. And I got this other, he had a couple other series. I tried them, right? And they're like, that's nice. You got any more of the Artemis Fowl stuff? Like, right quick, right? And I feel a little bad for him but I read 5 of them, and after that, I stopped reading them because it didn't feel to me like Ewan Colfer wanted to write these, right? But he really was feeling the first 3, and even 4 and 5 were pretty decent, and it's a great series. I really liked it. I really liked the world. I'm a big fan of the Artemis Fowl books, okay? So with that said, I was very excited when Disney comes to the Artemis Fowl Fowl movies, right? So I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. Well, we get into the trailer and it starts rolling. I'm like, okay, hey, check out that CGI. That looks very nice. They spent the money. Check. That's awesome. We're good. All right. And then I'm like, look at that cast. You got Colin Farrell in there. There's some other, high quality character actors. I'm not really seeing anything that worries me. This is all good, man. Like, I don't really have a lot of actors or actresses that I dislike, but like there were no. My wife has like one actress that she's like, if she's in a movie, my wife will not go see it, and like I'm not allowed to go see it. So the whole point is, it was fine. There was no flags from a talent perspective. It looked like there was talent in the movie, significant talent in the movie. Like, they did a good job with casting. Everything's good. Then the story comes out and they start talking words in the trailer, and I'm like, oh boy. Right? So sure enough, they don't get like 15 seconds into the trailer, and they're like, Artemis Fowl. And like some butler to Artemis Fowl is like, hey, and by the way, Artemis Fowl's butler's an amazing character in the books, and like I was excited to see Disney's interpretation. And Artemis Fowl's butler's like, Artemis, your father spent his life protecting dangerous things from the world so that these supernatural elements wouldn't be exposed to the world. And I'm like, what? Right? So I was upset because here's the thing. In the Artemis Fowl books, Artemis Fowl's father is a criminal mastermind. He is a crime lord. He is a crime lord. And the books are very specific that Artemis is spending his time trying to overcome the bad reputation of his father and build a noble reputation for the Fowl name, right? That is a powerful, time-tested story, right? A boy trying to outdo the bad that his father has done, right? But no, Disney's like, oh, hey, we've spent millions for this book, right? Why don't we just throw it in a lake and do whatever we want, right? And just act like the writer's words are worth nothing, right? We'll go to no lengths to make sure that we have the best CGI and go to no lengths to make sure we have the best cast. But, the writer's stuff, just treat that like trash. Doesn't matter, right? The story doesn't matter. It's so frustrating, right? It's a very different story when you have a son trying to live up to the good of his father. You know why that's why that's a problem? It ain't special, right? Like, we've seen that story a million times, right? Son of a crime lord trying to go straight. That's pretty cool. That you don't see that story every day. And Artemis Fowl is a brilliant interpretation of that very unique storyline. And Disney's like, oh, well, let's just throw that into the trash, right? Now, here's where the punishment comes for me being a reader, right? So one, I read the Game of Thrones. Boy, was I a fool. That was like a bunch of reading for nothing. The people who did not read the books and watched the television show got at least 3 seasons before they hit that wall, before they smashed into that brick wall ending. And they got a much better, if you watched the show and never read the books, you had a much, much, much better Game of Thrones experience than if you read the books. You suffered if you read the books. Same thing here. If you took the time to actually read the Artemis Fowl books, you're gonna have an incredibly difficult time, enjoying this nonsense that Disney is about to put up, right? Because it's clear they took Ewan Colfer's vision and just threw it in a lake. They did not care about it, right? And because that's not like a flourish. That's a major, that goes to the motivation of the character himself, right? That changes everything, in my opinion, okay? And so that's the issue, is this is a big change. And so here I am, schmuck, haven't read the books. Now here's the thing. If you didn't read those books, don't read them now, right? Just enjoy the movies. Go watch the movies undisturbed by the author's vision, right? And you're going to have a good time. I think I would have been able to. I can't go see these movies now. I'm going to skip them, right? Because I really enjoyed the movies, and I cared about Ewan Colfer's vision, right? Like, I really think he did a good job. He knew what the character was doing. He knew what the character meant, right? And clearly, Disney hired people who did not care about the author's vision. So the point of all this is, if you haven't read the Artemis Fowl books, you are fortunate. Go enjoy the movies. You're going to have a good time. I really think you can, because it's not going to be, this is like watching anime with American subtitles, right? It's never right. It's always like 5 degrees off, 25 degrees off, right? And you're like, oh, this is hurting my brain, right? And it's going to be the same thing here. If you watched the movies, if you read the books, these movies are going to be incomprehensible and frustrating. But if you never read the books, you could just enjoy Disney's singular vision, and you're not going to have a dissonance in your head when you watch it, right? So we now have arrived in a world where you are punished if you read the book, right? And it's frustrating. I'm frustrated by this. So good luck to all you who did not read the books. Enjoy the movie. I really wish Disney had went a different direction with this. All of that is my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. If you think I'm wrong on this, let me know in the comments below. If you think I'm right, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.